Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Uniondale high school great who started out as a work in progress. But once he got it going, he was a double-digit player in points and rebounds. He became an all-Long Island player at Uniondale, playing alongside his teammate and friend Rick Holmes. After graduating high school, he would continue his dominance at CW Post before moving on to Boston University, where he would team up with Dederick Irving, the father of Kyrie Ervin. At Boston University, he would become the ECAC North Atlantic Conference Player of the Year. This guy averaged 19 points and 9 rebounds. He was an absolute beast. If you didn't hold your position in the post, you were getting dunked on, period. After Boston University, this basketball head played overseas, where he averaged 27 points a game. Definitely want to hear more about that. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Uniondale High School, CW Post, and Boston University great, Larry Jones.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening, my man?
Not much, man. It's good to see you, man.
I'm good.
Introduction. I love that introduction.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, my brother. Hey, I know you was like, that he was just in the dark, on the low. Now he's just cameras on. Action. Got my guy here, the resident artist, Jamel Powell, whipping up something nice for you. I see you guys in the building, Rick Holmes.
Yes. I saw him do a picture of Darryl McDonald. That was pretty nice. Darryl McDonald was a special dude, man.
Yeah. D-Mac, we had him on last night. Awesome guest. Great story. Amazing story.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you earlier that we played together on West 4th Street. I think we were the Vice Squad. And, Glenn, you know that I played in Europe for so many years. That team that we had at West 4th Street, was just about as good as any team I played on in Europe,
Wow.
It was an amazing talent,
Yeah, my team, I joined when I started playing at West 4th, I think 93, 94. The Homeboys, HBO, my guy from Brownville.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah. So I came on with those guys, man. But welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Doing my research and reading the articles that you sent me and the stuff that I read before you sent me the article. Just some things that, I want to discuss. All right? Some awesome things because you have a great story within yourself.
Yeah, I love to tell it.
Yeah. So who introduced you to the game?
We grew up in Long Island, and we were always looking towards the city, for some guides and some support and some respect. And there was still a lot of Long Islanders that I grew up with. David Ankrum, Brian Hogan, a lot of guys from Roosevelt High School, Freeport, Uniondale High School. Back in the day, everybody was in the park and everybody from those towns was in the same park, and I grew up watching those guys.
Nice. And that's who kind of introduced you to the game, and you got your, I don't know, your feet wet at that time, because when I was reading early on that you relied a lot on your friends, and we're gonna get to that as well to kind of help you with your progress.
Yes.
Are you from Uniondale as well?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Okay.
I ended up going.
And those are neighboring towns, right? Those are neighboring towns.
Yes. I ended up going there because my mother ended up teaching in that school district. And she thought it was a good idea to get out of Roosevelt. And, Roosevelt was rough. My sisters went to school there, and it wasn't easy for them. And I had 3 sisters, and then they helped me get into basketball as well because they were cheerleaders.
Oh, okay.
So I would go see them cheer, and then I'm watching the games, and I'm blown away by how much support and how much energy is in there. And at that point, that's when I realized that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah. Harvey Powell was the coach. He was followed by Morris Brandon, who passed away, but they both had huge influences on basketball in Long Island.
And what year or what age did you really fall in love with the game? Like when you really started to take it serious?
I'd say when I was 11. I was
okay.
My kids that today I teach kids the same age, middle school kids from 6th grade to 8th grade. And I was telling them that I started playing when about as old as they are now. And, I like to share a lot of stuff with them and try to help inspire them.
Yeah, you got to inspire the next generation, man, because, hey, listen, they're going to be us one day.
Exactly.
And then we got to pass down some of that knowledge that the great ones passed down to us.
Exactly.
So it's each one teach one. That's what we all about over here as well. I work with kids as well. I'm a dean of my high school.
It's great. It's great when they come back and they realize what you said means something.
Yeah.
And they take it to heart. Back.
Yeah. So who was the best player in the neighborhood when you was coming up?
There was a family of brothers, Hammond brothers. Curtis Hammond, Michael Hammond, Adamat Hammond, all of them. That was the Hammond family. And I told you David Ankrum and Ryan Hogan, they were big influences also. They were big stars at Roosevelt High School.
And those are the guys who you guys kind of looked up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick just said, the Hammond boys.
Yeah, everybody.
Well, were they related to Joe Hammond from Harlem?
I'm not sure.
That would give some young kids a lot of confidence, living out Long Island, knowing they got a legendary cousin or uncle who lives in Harlem,
Exactly. But they were a strong family in Roosevelt. And and back in those days, everybody was in the parks. Nobody was playing video games or
No, that wasn't the thing to do.
Yeah, we spent all of our time outside in the park.
Right.
No, I was grateful for that, because that had a big influence on me.
How was Rick Combs as a teammate? And when did you meet Rick?
In high school. That's when I told you I first went to Uniondale. I met Rick at Uniondale. And since I came from one district to another, I didn't know anybody in the school. And, fortunately, I had basketball. And I gained a lot of friends through basketball. Rick was one of them.
Hey, listen, I asked my mother one time, I was like, Mom, I went to school and I didn't know too many people. I joined the basketball team, and it's like everyone was like, "Yo, the real party's in here. Like, come in." It just changed my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially during high school.
Huh?
I said, especially during high school. How was it for you? It was the same for you?
Can you repeat that?
I said, was it the same for you?
Yes, yes. Like I said, you know, I didn't know anybody in the high school because I switched districts, and Rick was one of the first people I met, and Rick was special because he had that city flavor.
Straight from Coney Island, right?
Yeah, just, you know, the way he dressed, the way he carried himself, and you know, and the way he played, you know. So, you know, I was glad to have him as a friend. You know, things.
That's awesome. He said we were the only sophomores in the squad, so y'all came up together, really.
Yeah, yeah, and that's big back in those days. You know, when
you could have kept your phone how you had it before. That was cool. This way, when we, you know, fix it up and everything, we get your name straight, and you're not moving all over the place.
Okay.
Because I hear you very well.
All right.
Let me know if you need me to talk up louder.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right, good.
I just don't want my phone to die on me. That's what I was worried about. I was going to plug it.
Oh, you need to charge it?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. So cool. You said, Rick, y'all came up together. You guys came in the sophomores together? Because I know he was supposed to go to Lincoln, but then his parents moved out to Long Island, and then he was forced to go to Uniondale.
Yeah, it worked out for both of us, you know?
Yeah. So how did y'all guys do while you was at Uniondale?
You know, we did well. We played all local schools, and Rick and I was talking about this recently. We the coach and the athletic director, you know, they never reached out for us to play against schools in the city or in major tournaments, and you know, that was sort of a turnoff for us because, you know, we had a lot of talent and we was ready to go after everybody and anybody. But you know, they would.
They could, even back then, a lot of high schools wasn't in the city wasn't playing high schools in Long Island. I know when I was coming up, we didn't have a lot of battles with our team from high school. We saw them if we made it in the state championship, maybe, or we played in a special tournament. And even those special tournaments, the Long Island team didn't come into the city, so
yeah,
we never got a chance to play against you guys.
There was a few schools. Malvern High School, with Andre Hawkins.
Okay.
His school and his school, they played a lot of teams from the city, and I would go to his school to watch games from the city.
Right.
And I'm sitting here wondering, you know, how come we're not playing any of these games?
Well, I know Rick sent me that was that New York Long Island roster. It was a New York Long Island game, the roster of that game. And wow, I had no idea that all of these guys in the city played with each other against you guys out on Long Island. And this was, I think, 1982.
Yeah. You know,
it was crazy.
Start, you know.
Yeah.
For a long time, we was just sort of hidden away, you know.
Right. So I read that you was a work in progress in the beginning, and you kind of came along during your sophomore when you was building, and then like your junior and senior year, like you really put your name in Uniondale.
I think, yeah, each year I took a big strides. You know, everything was a learning process, you know. You know, I was in Long Island the whole time, you know. I didn't get a chance to spread out and see other balls, see other ball players, and see how other things were going. You know, it wasn't until, you know, I graduated high school that I went into the city to see anything. And
really, did you play? Did you play any tournaments coming to the city?
No. You know, I was telling you about Darryl McDonald and West 4th Street. You know,
Yeah.
that was my first experience. And you know, I got to West 4th Street, Glenn. Nobody knew who I was. You know,
Right.
and this was a funny story because, you know, I'm trying to get on teams, right? So I'm walking around like, yo, can I get down with your team? The guy's looking at me now. Can I get down? You know, I asked, you know, everybody. So, you know, after the games are over, you know, there's free run. So I started playing. And then, you know, I was dunking and, you know, making a name for myself. And Sherman was there,
Yeah.
you know, and you know,
Sherm, he's the mayor of West Fork.
but yeah, he's the mayor. But as far as so, you
Right.
know, young, finished playing, he comes up to me and says, "Yo, you want to play on my team?" I said, "You know, I told this one, the guy I was going to play with. I can't remember what his name was, but I do remember that his team was like. Sherm told me his team was like 1-5 at the time.
Right, right.
Sherm said
But
his team.
you gotta get in when you fit in. You gotta get in when you fit in, right?
Yeah, and you know, it was amazing how it worked out. You know, it's just fun. The basketball world is funny. You never know how things are gonna work out. But, you know, I just put
Yes.
my head, played, and you know, little by little, I learned and I grew. But you know, I wish, looking back, I did have somebody to mentor me. You know, that would have helped an awful lot. But you know, I managed to go a long way without knowing anything, but just putting my head down and playing hard. So, you know, that's something that I tell the kids, you know, you just got to do your best.
Yeah. And mentorship is so important. Something I take very serious and something I've been doing for the last 15 years. Just kind of helping our kids and being that support system
Yeah.
that we didn't have back then.
Yeah.
Those strong male figures, and just be there, through thick and thin, and see these kids grow. So that's been very important, and kudos to you, man, for still doing that with the kids in your neighborhood.
Yeah. And, you know, a funny thing was, you know, Dr. J, um, you know, he was from Long Island. And, you know,
Yes.
after he made it, he came back a couple times and he did a couple of clinics at Nassau Coliseum. And, you know, that was amazing. But that was pretty much the only link that we had to the NBA.
What was the turning point for you in high school that turned you from a regular player to someone who would go on and be dominant on a Division I level?
Uh, I think playing with Dwight Gibson. You know, Dwight was a couple years ahead of me, and uh, his team, his senior year, you know, they were one of the best teams in Long Island.
Okay.
And you know, just watching how they did things and how they proceeded, I think that helped me out, and that helped me, you know, to figure out that that's what I wanted to do.
And who was your toughest competition in high school?
Rick mentioned Leroy Poole.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I see that. We gonna get to that.
You you know, everybody else was at the same level.
Okay. Okay.
Leroy Poole, you know, he was about 6'3", but he was one of the first guys who can really leap. You know, uh, I think his leaping ability was far better than anybody we ever knew. So, you know, he intimidated everybody on a lot of levels because of what he could do. And, you know, he would go up against 7-footers, you know.
Mm.
So he was one of the better players that we've ever seen.
So you got your confidence after dunking on him.
Definitely. You know, we knew it was going to be a battle when both of us played.
Right.
You know, and I got a chance to talk to him at the end of the year because we both got like a end of the year award. I think a Daily News Award or All Long
Yeah.
Island.
News
And
day, yeah.
it's funny when you get somebody's perspective when you're going at them, and you know you have this one mentality where you just put your head down and go forward, and you want to knock
Yeah.
through it. When you finally meet the person that you was trying to knock over, you know, you gain a lot of respect for that person because, you know, he may have felt the same way going at you, you know? So
Yeah.
that was great, you know, getting to meet him and getting respect from somebody, you know, you work so hard against.
Okay. So after you made your improvements, start to come along. You dunk on Leroy Poole. Your confidence is through the roof. Now, let me explain this. When you're a ball player, confidence is everything. You lose it, you lose your superpowers. I don't care what level you're on. Confidence is everything. So, when you gained your confidence after dunking on Leroy Poole, got your swag up, who ass did you bust to let you know you was one of the better players on Long Island?
You know what? It wasn't who. It was just like everybody. You know, everybody who would stack up in front of me, I would just try to knock them over. You know, and it was that same mentality that I had. You know, I didn't know anything else. You know, I didn't have anybody to help me out. You know, all I had to do, the only thing I knew was to just go, and go.
So Leroy Poole is the only name on Long Island that you played against, that you did something against? You know, Rick gonna tell it.
There was a lot of Catholic school dudes, you know. I think we came hard at the Catholic school dudes. I think there was a Tim Kempton.
What about Sheldon Henriquez?
Oh yeah.
Told you, Rick gonna tell it. Rick gonna tell it, man.
You know,
What happened?
Shelton was the same story with Leroy Poole, you know. But Sheldon was intimidating, you know. Back in the day, Sheldon, he rolled with a lot of box. I think his father was like a promoter, and Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. I think his father was involved with promoting them, and you know, you could tell that he had a lot learned from all of that, you know. So you know, when he came into games, he came in with a lot of swagger, and you know, it was right. Rick was right. You know, I went at him, you know. And there was almost one point we came to blows, you know. But you know,
how tall was Sheldon?
I think Sheldon was about 6'7".
Hey, it's an even fight. I get you dunking on Poole, 6'3", 6'4", jumping ability. I get that. You banging on somebody 6'7", and you letting them know that you're the best big man in the building. Yeah.
No, Glenn, you know, you just don't want to go home losing, man.
That's
you know,
right.
We lost a lot of games, and you know, I reflected on that a lot, and I think that, you know, losing, it really does help you because, you know, it helps you reflect and it helps teach you what you need to keep pushing forward, and you know. In some ways, I'm glad that I lost a couple of tough games so that I was able to learn to be stronger.
Listen, I say in a song, the intro song is called Go Hard or Go Home, right? One of the lines in the song is, I done won chips before and lost more. While y'all was still sitting on the side trying to ball, right? Like, people could be on the sidelines saying whatever they want to say about the dude who's playing. Yeah. Oh, you lost. You lost. You lost. Right, but I was in the game.
Yes.
While you was on the sideline keeping the score.
You know, I heard that from Mark Jackson. I was in the city watching Mark Jackson, and there was somebody just haggling him. And, you know, finally, after like 3 quarters, Mark came over to him and said something like, how much you make? You know, I'm making crazy money. Dude didn't say anything. Mark walked off that, and it was over.
Man, listen. This is why fans are called fanatics for a reason.
Yeah. But you know how they handle them, you know?
Yeah.
No, that
it comes with the game.
Yeah. And when you're out there playing, there are only a few people who you really listen to. You know, you got some close people that are, you know, on the sidelines, and every now and then you look over to see if they're all right. You know, those are the only people you listen to. Everything else is just like white noise, you know.
Right. So, guys do pretty well senior year. You prove yourself to be dominant. Who was recruiting you your senior year? And why CW Post?
Yeah, you know, that whole Long Island thing, it bothered me because of the games that we had scheduled, and you know, we didn't really earn much respect. And it went as far as that recruiting also, you know. You know, one guy who was from Long Island that did get recruited pretty high was Shelton Jones. I think he came in after went to St. John's. Danny Green, he also came.
Danny Green, I thought Danny Green was great. I thought Sheldon Jones was such a bust because they were so big on him.
Yeah.
They were so big on him. He could play multiple positions. He could do all these great things, and he got to St. John's and
yeah, it didn't materialize. You know, it might not been the right place for him because he did have some talent. You know, he was tall and he was very athletic. You know, I just don't think it worked out for him. But for some reason, he got recruited pretty highly, and that bothered me. You know, I went to some.
Did you play against him?
No. I did compete against him in track. I think we were both high jumping. And you know, we could jump, but we couldn't high jump.
Yeah.
You know, we couldn't do that flop thing, you know. But you know, it was fun being out there and having something else to do.
So no schools was coming out to Long Island look at you, so you settled with CW Post?
Yeah. I think there was Northeastern with Reggie Lewis.
Reggie Lewis. Let me say this. I remember reading in an article that Boston University was interested in you, but they decided to go with somebody else. And was that the case? And then you wound up going to CW Post, and then something happened with that player, and they wound up coming back to offer your scholarship?
No. What happened was there was one guy who was trying to get me to go to Northeast, Coach McCrory, and then something didn't work out. I think, you know, I was supposed to meet him for recruiting, and it didn't work out. So he left Boston. He left Northeastern and went to Boston University, and then I followed him there.
Got you. That's how you ended up there.
It's a weird thing because I wasn't highly recruited at all. It's like I recruited the school.
But that coach saw something in you. And then I guess he probably went back to all the years how you improved so much.
Yeah.
Because you was only going to get better.
Yeah. Rick has a point. I see he talked about Duquesne. We did get recruited. Me and Eric Compton from Long Beach. We both took a trip to Duquesne, and for some reason, Duquesne didn't sit right with me. Maybe because it was just too far away, and my family meant a lot to me, so I wanted to be a little closer for them. And then at the same time, Duquesne didn't have a big name, so
it was easy to walk away.
Walk away from Duquesne.
So how many years you stayed at CW Post?
Just one. And, it was a great year. CW Post recruited some great players. And, I wish it was a Division I school. If it was a Division I would have stayed there 4 years. But, Division II wasn't in my heart. I had higher aspirations. So, it was hard.
How did you get to Boston? Did you track down a coach that left Northeastern and went to Boston University?
Yes, I tracked him down. And I got help from another player from St. Dominic's, Jim Christian.
Okay.
I think he's the head coach.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I think Jim Christian is. I think he's still at college, head coach now.
Okay. Okay. So you get to Boston University. You got 3 years eligibility left. Do you come in and start right away, or there's another step that you got to climb because you're coming from D2 to D1?
Yeah, there were a lot of good players when I first got there. There was a guy named Curtis Williams who was very good, and we was bumping heads the whole time. But at the end of the year, he ended up transferring to University of Virginia, and that was a good jump for him. And he ended up playing pretty well there.
Oh, okay.
There was another guy who transferred from Syracuse, and he came there. And after that 1 year, he transferred also. So the job ended up falling into my lap because a lot of them, fell by the wayside. And going to school is just hard. Period. Between the books and being away from home,
yeah,
dealing with coach, and we had a couple of head coaches that quit and were hard on people. And when you're in a coach's doghouse,
hard to get out. And sometimes when coaches meet you a certain way, they keep that picture of you.
Yeah.
Right? It's why we tell kids, make sure your first impression is your best impression.
Yeah, and it really wasn't fair. It was hard, because you're still kids,
Mm-hmm.
You're outside of your environment, and it's very, very hard. You have to be very, very strong mentally.
Yes.
So many people, when they get to school, they transfer after their first couple of years. But
I was going to transfer, but my mom's will let me.
Yeah, and you're right, and a lot of people talk about it. If something's not right, I'm transferring. And your mother's right. You got to fight and stick it out. That's what makes you who you are. You overcome those obstacles.
Yeah, she just didn't know the team I was playing for. She said, "Get your education." All right. What year was Dederick in when you came in?
We both came in the same year, at the same time. And
so he was a freshman. You was a sophomore.
Right. Right.
Got you.
And we
So
didn't
did
know
you
anything.
guys hit it off being from New York?
Yeah. Well, yeah and no. Dederick is a lot like his. He says he's not, but he's a lot like his son.
Really?
Kyrie. Kyrie is
Okay.
highly intelligent, and he has a
Yeah.
lot of different things to say and a lot of different ideas, and he's just very smart and intuitive. He just thinks of a lot of things, and that's probably why he's so good, because he's creative and he thinks about everything on the court. You can't be that good without knowing everything that's going on. Father was the same way. His father
Ross
was.
Strickland said that. Ross Strickland said out of all the guys, Dederick was the book smart one. Dederick was the thinker. Yes.
He was smart, and he was an extrovert. So he would just talk all the time, talk to everybody. He knows everybody, talks to everybody. So it was easy for me. But we did butt heads. As soon as we got to the school, I think like the first week that we were together, I think the question of who's better came up. And I think he said he was better than me, and then I just looked away and was like, "Man, you crazy!" And then that infuriated him. And at the time, he sprained his ankle in one of the games that we were playing in, and sprained ankle and all. He was upset, and he wanted to, we wanted to settle, who was better. I didn't want to play him because his ankle was hurt, and this was.
That's right.
Yeah, this is I was looking ahead, I was looking to have a great year and everything. I didn't want him to get, but he didn't care, he wanted to play. So we ended up playing like half a game, and then I just stopped it. And then he was, I guess his ankle was hurting him, so we stopped it. But from that point on, we did have a lot of respect for each other, because we really went at each other, and that's how you gain respect.
That's right.
When you
That's
don't
right.
down, you go at each other. And he looked at me, and he saw that I had fire in my heart. I saw him the same way, and then we had a lot of respect for each other. But,
listen, when I was in Maine Central prep school, I used to watch you guys play, and you, right? I just didn't know who you were. I knew who Dederick was because Dederick was from the city. Looking back now, and remembering the big man that was dominating for Boston University, that was you. This is so crazy. Small world. Are you still there? You there? Hello? I'm still here. Hello? Hello? You there? Say something. I can't hear you. I'm going to come back out. Come back. Yeah, we want to finish this up. It's so crazy, Rick. I was saying how when I was up in Maine, I was watching Dederick play. I knew who Dederick was because we from the city. I knew he was from Stevenson. They had a dominant big man. And now to come and think about it, that was Larry. Remember watching Reggie Lewis play at Northeastern. These are guys who, when you wanted to get some inspiration, it wasn't a lot of college basketball being played in Maine, right? Locally, at least. The University of Maine, they have some Division II schools out there. But if you wanted some inspiration, you had to make sure you catch Boston University, Boston College, UMass, Rhode Island. Those schools you kind of got inspiration from. And I knew guys in Rhode Island. I knew guys who played in Boston University, down in UMass. And those are the schools you got inspiration from. And those are the schools you looked at to see whether you wanted to go there. You get a letter to somebody recruiting you. You want to make sure that these programs fit your style. And the things that we know now, I wish I would have known then. But it all works out for a reason. And that's why we get to talk to Larry tonight about his situation. Because here's a player who started out a little rough around the edges. Meet Rick, right? Rick is taking them to different places to play. He's taking Rick to different places because Rick just moved out to Long Island. They formed this brotherhood. And even though he only played out on Long Island, once he left the island, he was able to play against other guys and see where his talent lay. How does it stack up against other guys? And that's what happens when you get to leave your neighborhood, leave your town, leave your comfort area to go and play in other tournaments, go and play at other parks and challenge yourself. And that's what we had to do as ballers coming up. So we're going to see if my man is on right now. I think his battery probably died. Where you at? I know I'm waiting for him now, Rick. I just told him we was going on. What's going on? Who's religion? For sure. Thanks for the love, man. Keep doing your thing. Yo, Rick, how you like these, man? And one. Guy Rob Phelps hooked me up. Hooked me and my guy up. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank Rob Phelps again.
Is he on there?
Nah, he got the video. And one for showing us some love. Gotta do it, man. It's that New York City brotherhood. Good, yo, you have my artist about to put your picture in the fire, man. He was like, what? He's like, gonna finish this up?
Yeah, you
Like I was saying earlier, right? When I was up in Maine Central at prep school, while you guys was at Boston University. Right? Watching you guys play, I was inspired. I remember watching you play. I just didn't know who you were. I knew Dederick, and I knew they had a dominating big guy.
Yeah, we were 1-2 punch. You know,
So definitely, I saw you play, fam. Definitely. Yeah. You guys are our only inspiration. Rhode Island, Boston University, Boston College, UMass. That's it.
Yeah.
We couldn't watch Maine, even though they was on every night. There was no inspiration. They tried to give me and my boy $30,000 to come there as a package deal. No way. But that's another story.
Yeah, Maine.
All right.
Maine's for vacations, man.
Yes, definitely. So I see you guys made it to the tournament and played against Duke.
Yeah, that was big.
That was was Johnny Dawkins there at the time?
No, Danny Ferry, John Smith, Kevin Strickland, Quinn Snyder.
Yes.
You know they always have a whole bunch of big name guys. Allah
Al-Dunabi. Listen, when we was in high school, we played against them. Madison Square Broncos. We played against the Roadrunners. And Jason Williams tore Al-Dunabi, whatever his name is, a new asshole. Al-Dunabi, yes. tore him a new asshole. Jason Williams killed him. Especially we found out he was going to Duke. We was like, he was just big.
Yeah, he was big. That height was intimidating, but you're right.
Back then, but he wasn't a baller. He couldn't really ball.
Yeah, once you get past the height, then it's over. You know?
Right.
But he fit in well with Duke because he brought that height and that fear, and everybody else had the game, you know?
Yeah, but look, back then, you know, you come from New York, we want to see, we know you got the height, can you play?
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right because he didn't play much that game.
Of course. Trust me, I know. So, that was your only time that y'all went to the tournament? You guys go make it to the NIT?
Yeah, you know, it was a shame because it's such a stage, you know? Playing on that stage, and some guys are able to do it every night, and they're used to the crowds, and they're used to all of the extra things that go on. And, you know, for like a small D1, you know, it's too much of a change for us, you know?
Yes. Get thrown in the lion's den with 1 million people watching.
It was 17,000 people there. And, you know, 17,000, you know, when somebody makes a play, the crowd is going on like 5 minutes later, they still on, you know, the roar is still there.
It never goes away.
Yeah, that was just one thing that stuck in my mind, you know. But, you know, it was an amazing experience, you know.
Right. So after college, did you go straight overseas? Did you try for any NBA teams?
No, I didn't get picked up by any NBA team. I didn't even know I was in the draft. One of my friends from Roosevelt, he went to the draft. He got a draft list, and then he saw my name on the list.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't get contacted by anybody. And, you know, I was only 6'6", and I was playing inside. So I think that was the biggest problem.
Being an NBA, you'd be a tweener.
Yes. So, you know, that's something I thought about a lot and sort of regretted. You know, and that's the other thing about mentorship, you know. You know, somebody who's in the NBA could look at you and could tell what position you're going to play in.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, you know, and that was a big mistake, you know.
Well, listen, we had guys at my school in Lincoln who was 6'4", played the post, 6'5", right? Those in between guys.
Yeah.
For myself, I'm 6'6", but I started out as a 5'8" guard, then grew to 6'6".
Yeah. So, you know, you had ball handling skills.
Right. I still had all the other skills.
Well, that's the important thing, you know. And, you know, Dederick and I talked about this when we were in college. You know, he already talked about having a great son. You know, and this is way before Kyrie was even born.
Wow.
And you know, he said, Larry, you know what? My son's going to kick your son's ass. And, you know what? He
knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He had a plan.
Because I was still on that center thing and, you know, doing the center skills. And that's obsolete now, you know? But he knew all the skills for a guard, for point guard. And it translated perfectly to the NBA. So he was sort of ahead of his time with that, you know?
Wow.
And you know, and he had Rod too, and Rod carried a lot of weight, you know, and he blazed the trail himself, you know. I don't know how many mentors he had, but you know, he just went through each level like it was nothing, you know.
Yeah, and while we were saying it, looking at it, and thought it was easy, hearing it from him, it wasn't as, because he had to deal with a lot of things as well. And we talked about him not making the All-Star team as great as we all thought he was, and how much we thought he should have been on those teams. So there's always, like you said, when a person's on the outside looking in, things kind of always look easier than the person that's actually going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still there? See you buffering a little bit. There you go. So how was the transition?
I'm still here.
How was the transition from playing college ball to playing ball overseas?
I quit the playing in college again. The funny thing was that I thought I was great at that point. So I would look at other players, and I would just assume I couldn't play. Everybody.
Yeah. Yo, so hold on. You didn't do that before. You never did that before. Everybody did at one time or another. Everybody did that. Especially you look at a white boy team, or the white boys, and they out passing your ass, cutting, they dunking, they backdooring you to death, shooting threes. Never do that again.
Yeah, and then you go back into the locker room, you start scratching your head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did that a lot, and that was a big problem. And then each time, these guys showed some amazing skills. There was one guy who is coaching at NJCU. I can't remember what his name was, but he was playing in Europe also. And then he got to Jersey City coaching. And, these guys were lights out. It's like they had no weaknesses,
Wow.
Once I got over the fact that, every time I stepped on the court, I had to respect whoever I was playing and just go out, things got a little bit easier, And
okay. Where did you play? Where did you play? What countries?
The first country I was at was Sweden. And, that ended up being a good experience, the best experience, because, I got off to a shaky start trying to make the adjustment. But, once I settled in, we did well. We ended up winning the championship of Sweden.
Wow.
And that opened a lot of doors, and I had my confidence grew a lot, and people looked at me, differently. And then, that basically helped my whole career.
Confidence.
Winning a championship in another country is a huge undertaking, and that's something that I'm so proud of, because just going to another country is hard enough, and then to deal with the language, the money, the time difference. I mean, every time you turn around, there's some type of obstacle that you don't see coming,
That's right. Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying to figure out what a krona is and how many dollars this thing is.
What did you learn about yourself while you was over there?
I was always alone. I was always thoughtful, and I think my parents, your parents tell you a lot of things, but one of the best things my parents told me was, it's more important to listen to people than to speak. So I would just take in everybody's point of view, and then I would just try to adjust to what they were saying. The moment you come in and you try to tell people that you don't know how to do things, especially in Europe, you're in trouble. They'll get you on the next plane and get somebody else.
That's right. 2 Americans to a team.
Yeah. And when I got there was just one. In Sweden at that time, in the 1980s, there was only one per team.
Wow.
So, you know, I always had that ability to take in things, and I always liked adventures. You know, I was so excited to be able to go to Europe and to travel. The first thing I did before I even got to that team was I joined like a touring team.
Okay.
Agent Scott Wolson, and you know there was just about 8 to 10 brothers from all over the United States, and then we played friendly matches against all of these European teams. And at the end of that camp, I got picked up and I flew to Sweden. And you know, it's just so much unknowns. You know, it was the first time I've been to Paris, and you know, I didn't really have a background. You know, it's good to know something about it. You know? I'm in Paris, and you know, we don't know. All of a sudden, we look up. Oh, that's the Eiffel Tower.
Come on, man! You gotta do some research.
None. You know. But you know, at the same time, it was overwhelming. It was so much fun to see it that way. You know.
That's good, man. So, how many years did you play overseas?
12.
All in Sweden?
No. Sweden. Spent 4 years approximately. France, I was there for about 3. Belgium, Holland, 2 years. Finland for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question. I interviewed Kim Hampton, and she played 13 years in different countries overseas. She speaks French, she speaks Japanese, and I think she speaks Mandarin as well.
Yeah.
She was speaking some languages, and I may be mixing them up, but she was speaking some languages. I was like, yeah, that just sounds sexy the way she said it. Brother, did you pick up any languages while you were there?
You know, the thing that hurt me was that I kept leaving countries. So I would go from one language, and then the next year I just switched to another language. And you know, I took classes when I was there, but
you didn't master anything.
No. And then you know you end up meeting people, and then all the people help translate everything for you.
Right.
So you know, my whole idea was when I was there was to just see as many places as I could. So you know, that was sort of the game plan that I had. So if I had the opportunity to go here, I guess because I thought that I would never have the opportunity to see those places again. So I wanted to see as many when I had the opportunity.
Definitely understand that.
So, you know, there's a lot of things that you wish you might have changed when you look back on things, but, you know, it was nice to see so many places.
That's cool. So I speak to a lot of different players about their transition from basketball to the real world. Some was difficult, some very easy, right? The transition. How was your transition from the basketball life to the real world?
I think the thing that makes it difficult to easy is if you have an idea of what you want to do when you come back. You know, if you have no idea and you have no plan, it's just devastating, you know. And I always had a lot of different ideas of what I wanted to do, and I tried a couple of things and it didn't work out. But you know, I always had my family, and they were always helpful. and they helped me settle into education and into teaching, and that sort of was a natural progression because I had so much lifetime experience that teaching seemed to be the perfect place to go.
Nice, nice. And then your family, your mom was an educator, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that definitely makes it easy. Yes. All right. We come to this moment where we ask you, who are the top 5 players in Long Island history from your perspective?
Ooh. Well, one thing is hard because when I left, you know, when you leave Europe, when you leave and go to Europe, it seems like the rest of the world is just cut off and you don't have any idea.
I got you. Uh-huh.
What's going
It could be from your era. Who do you know? What's the top 5 players for Long Island?
Man, I need a minute. I have to go with I was ready for this at all, man. It's like you knocked me off my feet.
This is why we got the Jeopardy music playing.
Andre Hawkins.
Andre Hawkins, that's right. Okay, that's 1.
Dwight Gibson.
That's 2.
Gusto Benelli. Remember Gusto?
Who?
Augusto Benelli. He was
Magusto Manelli.
Augusto Benelli.
Augusto.
Yeah.
All right. I'm waiting for a certain name. I'm waiting for a certain name to come up. I'm gonna see if you mention him or not. You got 2 more.
2 more.
Rick know who I'm talking about too.
I'm drawing a blank.
You got 2 more.
2 more.
St. Agnes, Lutheran, Luau.
Charlie Bryant.
Charlie Bryant. Okay.
I think.
All right. I'm gonna name your 5th player. Cause you killing me, dog. You're supposed to be a Long Island veteran. You're supposed to have done your homework on these guys who are out there and who came from your era. Guys like Billy Donovan, guys like Big Red, right? Frank Big Red, right? What about him? I think you froze it.
Yeah. Oh,
you good? You there?
Billy Donovan. What about Billy Donovan?
I can't hear you. Say it again.
Billy Donovan.
Billy Donovan. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Billy Donovan. Make some noise for your 5. All right. Cool. So, brother, I want to appreciate you coming on the show. But before you leave, we got something for you, my man. Question. What are your perceptions about Long Island High School, the scene right now? Are you in Long Island still?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, you're in New Jersey. Okay. Have you been keeping up with Long Island basketball?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I'm into Jersey now. You know, New Jersey has, you know, I'm teaching in Jersey City, and I've been
Got you.
following the New Jersey, and it's pretty good basketball here.
Yeah, my guy Merger seen as the coach at Gil St. Bernard.
Yeah.
Actually, I got sent him his poster this weekend.
Yeah, they one of their
One of the top schools, right? Are you still there?
Gil St. Bernard kids. Yes.
All right, cool. I'm about to show you your picture. I want to make sure you can see it. We gotta get your phone and stop buzzing. Are you there? We good? All right.
We're buffering, but I see. Oh. Man, it's unbelievable.
And that's you. That's you peek behind your picture, the poster that you gave me. That's you dunking on dude.
Yeah. Wow.
And we made that Danny Ferry. We made that Danny Ferry.
Oh man, that's amazing. You know, I always wanted that too, you know?
Huh?
I always wanted somebody to draw a picture of me. That's awesome.
Well, now you got it, brother. And I'll be sending this to you soon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
See that?
You know what? I might have to work with him to do a couple more for me.
Hey, my artist, he's there for hire. So the first one for free. Anything after that, it's a fee. But he's definitely here to work with you on that one. And I'm quite sure he'll love to work with you on a couple more portraits.
Yeah, I like that. That's, you know,
so, my brother, yeah, make sure you send me text me your information, and I'm gonna send this out to you, man, so you have it in the next couple of weeks.
All right, great.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank Rick for hooking us up. All right, because he nominated you. Now it's your turn to nominate someone else.
All right. I'm gonna have to think about this.
Nah, I gotta think about that, because I don't want to have to play the Jeopardy music on you no more.
Yeah, it's going for the whole half hour.
Oh, man. Listen, Larry, I appreciate your time. We salute you on your career and what you have done and what you continue to do for our youth today.
Yeah, you know, it's just an honor to be respected like that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No doubt. It's just let you know.